Hello, my name's Carole. This is my channel, So Carole, but today I'm coming to you with my first ever pattern review. Now I want to talk and tell you about Simplicity 9471. This is a pair of trousers that I completed yesterday, and I have to say I have not been so excited about a pair of trousers for a long time. This is a pattern released last year. It's sort of a cargo pattern, cargo pants pattern with all sort of different pocket options. Now it covers a few sizes. It covers for 6 to 24. It comes in two patterns, separate pattern envelopes. So you've got 6 to 14 and then you've got 16 to 24. I have to say, initially I was terrified about this pattern because I looked at all the different pocket options. And then I looked at all the pieces. I think I had about 16 pieces laid out on the table. And I was just like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. But it turned out brilliantly. So I was so excited. I thought I have to tell people about it. Now going back to the sizes, I would say it's completely spot on. They only put the finished hip measurement on here. And it starts at 35.5 inches and goes up to 52.5 inches. So that's the finished hip measurement. And I am wearing them now, and I did measure it, and that is completely accurate. I was brave, and I chose to make a size 8. Normally I might make a 10 in Simplicity trousers. They might have to bring them in a bit, but the 8 fit me perfectly. Because of all the different options and the pockets and the top stitching, I didn't want to run the risk of making it too big. That's what I would say to you. I would definitely make a practice garment, because with all the top stitching, it's not so easy to go back and kind of reduce things in a bit. You've got the two side seams are normal seams and they're not top stitch, so you have got the chance to bring in the width, the leg width, if you need to, but that's kind of about it. So let me talk more about the pattern. Now I chose to make view B. Now that had the inseam front pockets and a side pocket and then 2 pockets on the back. It also had this really strange curve bit, which I was a little bit worried about, that it would look like kind of like a nappy. It doesn't at all. It doesn't sag down at all. It's just a really interesting detail. I was excited making the whole thing because I have to say I was doing processes I haven't done for a long time. So you have got version A, which doesn't have the front pockets, the drop down pockets at all, but it does have inseam side pockets. And that I might try that in future, because that looks quite a nice option to make them less cargo style. And then the third option, C, has the pockets on the front, so you actually sew them onto the front rather than being inseam. So you've got different variations there, and obviously we all mix and match, don't we? So I cut all the pieces out, and I have to say the only one that caused me issue was the pocket, and that was step number 3. So I had to reread step number 3 so many times, and I think it took me half an hour to do step number 3 until I realised, when I went back to the pattern piece and realised what I had to do. So I'm going to kind of show you that now. The side front has 2 pieces, and if you look at the length of it, I thought, how is this possibly going to be the side front? So you've got the 2 side front pieces and you've got the tab pocket. And what actually happens, I think if you can see this, it creates sort of concertinas underneath, and that makes the pocket that way. So that's your pocket there. The tab then sits on the top. Now that's the only place I think that they've made a slight error, because they have pinned the right side of the pocket to the wrong side of side front. But clearly if you see that diagram there, you can see it's right side to right side. So that is the only thing, maybe whether I'm reading it wrong or it's slightly wrong, but I went ahead and copied the diagram and it did work out okay. Apart from all the instructions, and there's about 60 instructions, That was the only error that I came across in the version that I did, View B. Absolutely spot on. The fly instructions, although comprehensive, were easy to follow, and they did do everything step by step. You've got a facing, you've got the placket, and it makes a really nice fly front. I was really impressed. I did everything they said, I basted where they said, I hand basted where they said, and I came out with a really good result. So yeah, although it looks daunting, they do take you through step by step. As you can see, what I tend to do, I go through a pattern first and I tick it all off in a heat erasable pen, and then I cross off when I've done it. I expect a lot of you do the same, but then of course then I can just iron, get rid of it, and go back to a blank sheet for the next time I make it, in case I make a different view and then get all confused. So that's kind of why I've got all the crosses and everything. View B also had some back hem darts on the back of the trousers. Absolutely brilliant. I loved that because what it did was create a kind of peg shape coming in. I thought that was genius, and I think if ever I have a pair of trousers that's slightly wide, I might copy that detail again. They also had a knee dart. Now I'm 5'2", 3-ish, and that knee dart hits me right on the knee. So that's another thing I'd be saying, be careful of the length of this. With me it touches my ankles, but in the picture it shows them slightly cropped. So if you were a taller gal, then I would definitely say just make sure the measurements, because normally I reduce the length, but I didn't do anything on this at all. I've got them to where I want them, but if you wanted them slightly cropped, then you need to look at the length. Now I made these in a linen fabric. It was a fabric that I really didn't care about. I dyed some linen fabric. It was a nasty grey colour, and I dyed it green last year, machine dyed it, and it didn't come out terribly well. It's got a lot of shading, but actually that's why you've got the different colours in this, but it turned out really well, and I will, regardless of the fact the colour's not completely right, I am definitely going to wear these. In fact, I'm wearing them now and they're going to be on all day. So all in all, I would say it's a great new pattern. If you like a cargo trouser pattern that has got some feminine touches, you've got amazing chance to do some wonderful top stitching everywhere, and that makes it really different. Oh, if you did notice, I didn't put the belt carriers in because I never wear a belt. So I've always got a t-shirt over the top, so what is the point? So that's the only thing I didn't do. Definitely going to make this again. As I said, a lot of steps, a lot of pieces, but definitely worthwhile. Let me know in the comments if you've tried to have a go at this pattern, or if you feel like you're going to give it a go after watching this review. Thank you very much. If you want to see any more of my videos, I do #FridaySews on a Friday, so I will put a playlist at the end. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you've enjoyed this.